All right, guys, so go to day 6 in your packet, and you guys are going to take notes here. Okay, so just remember that for next week, we will have a quiz, not on Monday. We're going to do this on the block day, by the way. All right, so don't worry about that being on Monday. Okay, so we'll do a quiz next week, but it won't be and I'll give you guys more details on Monday. Okay, so what you're going to do here is you're going to substitute. Substitute means to plug something in. Plug in is the key word here. All right. I'm going to plug something in the other equation, and then we're going to solve it. And then don't forget, this is what your answer looks like. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. So what you're going to see is you're going to see one of the variables, x or y, equal to a number. So basically, that's like a solution. All right. So like for this first one, the solution for x is -3. All right, so I already have part of the answer. I just got to find the other part of the answer. Same thing with this one. Y is equal to -4, x equals -2. Okay, y equals 7, y equals -2. These two, this one's a little bit different, but very similar to what you guys did before. I'll go over that in a second. But then this last one is x equals -12. So we already have the answer for all of these. We have half of the answer. Okay, so we have -4. That's the y. For this one, x is equal to -2. So notice how I'm putting that first, and if it's y, I put it second. Okay, this one is y, so y equals 7, that goes there. This one is -2, so -2 goes there. This one is x, so -12 is the x. Okay, so basically all you have to do is find the other answer, and you guys already did this. Like we literally did this when we did this activity. Okay, so like actually equal values. Okay, so remember we solved for one answer, and then you guys plug that number back in. This is literally what we're doing. We're just doing that second step. Okay, so that's what it's called, substitution. All right, so I'm going to take the first equation, and that goes right in here, wherever you see x. So that's the key thing. If it's equal to x, plug it into x. Wherever there's x, put parentheses, and then plug in that number. Okay, so that number goes right there. So -9. Okay, and I'm going to set up all of these. So let's set them all up, and then we'll solve them. Okay, so now this one is y, and notice the y is right here. So that's key. If it's y, it needs to go here. If it's x, it needs to go here. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. 2x minus 5. I'm going to replace the y with parentheses and then put that -4 equals 18. Okay? So in the same thing here. This one's equal to x, so that means it's going to go here. So 3 times the -2 plus the 2y equals 0. All I'm doing is replacing whatever that number is equal to. Okay, this one's equal to y, so that means it's going to go here. And the key thing with this one is that it's going to be 3x minus the 7. Okay, so basically you almost treat this like that's a -1, so you're doing the negative times the 7, which makes it negative eventually. Okay, so now this one, the y is -2, and the y is right there. So I plug it into the y right there. -2. Oops, sorry. We gotta start with the 3 first. 3, take out the y, put parentheses, put the -2. And then everything else stays the same. I keep the 4x, I keep the +7, and the equals 9. Okay? Again, we're going to solve these here in a second. We're going to save this one for last. Okay? Actually, we'll do this real quick. All right, so remember, this is where if they're both equal to x, then I just take one equation and make it equal to the other equation. And then we're going to solve that. Okay, we'll go through the steps here in a second. All right, so this one is equal to x, so I plug it into x. I take the x out, I put the -12 with parentheses, plus 7y equals 43. Okay, so now we just have to solve these equations. All right, well, since we got everything plugged in. Okay, so here, 2 times -3, that's -6, -9, and then it's -6 minus 9, that equals -15. Okay, so that's the y. That's what we were looking for. So that's my answer. So my answer is -3 minus 15. Okay, this one. Okay, almost treat it like an equation here. Okay, I got -5 times -4. That's what I'm going to do first. So negative 5 times negative 4, that's positive 20. And now we're going to solve this like an equation. So I'm going to take 20 from both sides. That goes away. I have 2x equals minus 2, 18 minus 20. And then we divide both sides by 2. And then if I divide those by 2, negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So x equals negative 1. There's my solution for that one. Okay? So same thing here. Going to solve this like an equation. Since I have, a 2 here, it's not just y. Okay, so 3 times minus 2, that's negative 6. Bring everything else down. Now what I want to do is I want to keep the y here, but I want to move the 6 to the right, so I'm going to add the 6 to both sides. That cancels out, and now it's 2y comes down. 0 plus 6 is 6, and then divide both sides by 2. So then y equals 3. 6 divided by 2. So then y equals 3, so that goes there, because that was the one we were missing. So hopefully you're kind of getting the idea now. All right, so this one, it's just negative times 7, which is just literally minus 7. And then we want to add that 7 to both sides. Again, think like you're solving the equation, just like you've done before. Okay, so now I have 3x equals negative 10 plus 7, that's minus 3. Then divide both sides by minus 3, and that becomes 1. And negative 3 divided by 3 here is negative 1. Okay, so then x equals negative 1. Okay, and then here, okay, so now first thing I'm going to do is we're going to multiply. Notice on most of these we're all multiplying first. 3 times negative 2 is minus 6. Bring down everything else. Okay, now notice I have 3 terms on this side, which means there's 2 of these are like terms. That's going to be the 6, the negative 6, and the positive 7. So we're going to add those together first. Okay, so I'm going to bring down the 4x, the negative 6 plus 7. And again, if you don't know, if you're not good with adding up your negatives and everything, use a calculator. Okay, so negative 6 plus 7, that's positive 1. Okay, now we subtract 1 from both sides, and we get 4x is equal to 9 minus 1, which is 8. So now I'm going to actually move this up here because I ran out of room. And then we divide by minus 4. So this one obviously took a few more steps to get that one done. That goes away. 8 divided by negative 4, that's negative 2. Okay, so now negative 2 is equal to x. Oh, I realized I made a mistake. Here, it's y equals negative 2. So actually, I should have put that minus 2 here first. Now, the thing is, x also ends up being minus 2, so I really didn't have to erase that, I guess. But what I should have done is put this here for the y first. So I made that mistake. I messed up there. And some of you guys probably caught that while you were watching the first one. All right, so we're going to save that guy for last. Okay, so here, again, we're going to solve negative 3 times negative 12. Again, if you don't know, just do the calculator. Negative 3 times negative 12, that's 36. Then we're going to subtract both sides by 36 and get rid of that 36. So we can get the y by itself. Okay, 43 minus 36 is 7. And then we divide by 7. And then, any number divided by itself is 1. Okay, so y equals 1. So the answer right here is 1. And the full coordinate or ordered pair is negative 12, comma 1. All right, last one. Okay, you guys have literally done this before. Okay, but we're just going to take away numbers from one side, take away variables from the other. I want y on this side, so that means I'll take away the number or the constant first, subtract 1, so those go away. And then we're going to add the 2y. That goes away. So now negative 3 plus 2y, that's minus 1y. 8 minus 1, that's 7. And then last step, we just need to divide by, or next step, divide by negative 1. So y equals minus 7. All right, so that's the first number. But remember, you need to solve for both y and for x. So that's y we just got, so I put that there. And then we got to plug in the 7 to either equation, doesn't matter. I'm going to use the first one. So x equals negative 3 times my answer, negative 7, plus 1. So then it's negative 3 times negative 7, that's positive 21, plus 1 equals 22. So there's my answer, x equals 22. So my final answer will be x equals 22 and y equals negative 7. So that's substitution, okay? So you guys have kind of done it before with all of these. So now that's what you're going to do. What I want you all to do now, go to the next page and finish this side for homework, okay? So this is kind of review from what we did when I was last here. And then you guys have those same problems you just looked at. Okay, so this is the one where you're going to plug in the x there. You're going to plug in the y there. Okay, and don't forget to write out your answers like this. Remember, I already have the answer for that, right? 6, and I already have the y there. It's negative 3. You just need to find the other number. This one, remember that you have both equals x, both equals y. So this is like this problem where I'm going to make one equal to the other. Now remember, that's a minus 1, okay, as you work through that. And then same thing here. That's going to be a minus 1. Minus 13 equals negative 3x plus 1. Okay, solve that. Make sure you guys solve for both x and for y on those. Okay? All right, so then remember with this one, this is the one where you set up you're just basically just filling the table on this one. Okay, so you know that Frank already has $50 in the bank, so that's where he started. Clear that up. It's a little, there we go. Okay, and then he earns $8 every hour, so it's adding by 8. That's a plus. And then Miriam only has $34. That's where she started, but then she's earning $12 per hour. Okay, so again, Frank starts with 50. Miriam starts with 34. And if Frank is earning $8 every hour, then for his table, we're adding 8. So just keep adding 8. So this next one, oh, and then for her, it would be adding 12. Okay, so for instance, the next one for him would be 58. Next one for her would be 46 because she's adding 12. And then you guys just fill in the rest. Okay, you fill in the rest of these, and then you're done. All right, that's it.